Welcome back to another live stream. How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing today? Tuesday, another live stream where I'm going to be talking about price action analysis. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Yeah. So the main purpose of this live stream is to review some of your trades, if you have any, to give you my feedback on some setups, to take a look at some concepts that you guys may have some questions to ask. And yeah, so that's mostly the main purpose of the stream. I'll be looking at the market, just sharing my views, maybe some good zones to look at, and yeah, mostly that's what I'm going to be doing. And then on Saturdays I do the weekly forecast for the week ahead. So last Saturday I did the weekly forecast. I can do some update since Saturday. So price had continued the down move to the downside after the terrible number from the CPI last Friday. So for example, euro dollar went all the way to the downside. Yeah, retesting these lows now after retesting from this level in there during the ECB press conference. Now it's retesting the lows, and let's see what's going to happen now. And now it's reacting quite nicely from there. It did react from this zone in here, kind of this demand that was in there. In here, doing some lagging today. My FPSs are dropping a lot. So sorry for that. Nice reaction. Nice fake out now from this level and reacting from here. And let's see how price now reacts from here. Overall, in the bigger view, personally, I'm waiting for these lows on euro to be taken. In here, I'm kind of expecting this zone in here. This one already respected it, and now I'm kind of waiting for that fake out before any major move to the upside. Comparing with the dollar index, had already broken that specific low on euro back to 2017. Our index has already broken that high. Yeah, so personally I'm actually expecting that low to be broken maybe tomorrow during the FOMC press conference. Big indecision about how big is going to be the hike on the interest rate. Is it 50 basis points? Is it 75? And so yeah, a little bit of uncertainty in that aspect. And then of course whatever is going to be planned for the meeting then in July as well. Expect big volatility tomorrow. Yeah. So euro dollar now reacting from there. Today actually the main point, I think, just to answer one of the questions that trading box asked me. So he asked me to cover a little bit about targets, how I define my targets, or how do I manage my expectations based on the targets as well. Yeah, so I do that based on I try to look at price action, try to see which zones are what space there is still available in order to look for that. So yeah, that's mostly what I'm going to try to, that's usually what I try to do. And so I'll give you a few examples. For example, I think one of his questions was based on a trade that he took on dollar CAD. I think he actually managed to catch this low. It was a zone that I talked about a few live streams ago. and it did manage to go and go long in here. So yeah, so after that he did close. Basically is trading here, and how would I be looking at targets in this sense, right? And just give me a second, guys. Targets. Let's talk about targets. Yeah, so price is going down. Let's pretend that price is going down. Right. And somewhere in here it creates kind of a high of this level. Let's pretend that it actually even breaks this. What's going on? It even breaks this one, and then price continues to go down, and then eventually it breaks another high in here. Still not final target. Let's pretend the final target is somewhere in here. This could be an option, and let's pretend that this is the next level of structure between this high. So we do have these two zones. So basically we break these highs in here, and break kind of this high in here. Yeah, so if you think about these two breaks of a high, and from this high, in theory, the next zone could be around this supply zone that is left after the creation of this new high. So this kind of is where this high should have gone to. It didn't. So we do have space and indication that price wants to go further up after this engulfs up. Right. So this next zone, and maybe in the bigger picture, this could be the final one. And there you go. We have this level now in here. Yep, so the price breaks it, price goes down, and now we have kind of an entry, right? So this is kind of could be an entry to go higher from here. And where will be your target? So after the break of this high, you just play zone by zone. Yeah, conservative target could be immediately this one afterwards, kind of somewhere in here. Conservative target, I would kind of maybe take some profit from around here, but I was already aware that this one broke to the upside, so there was a possibility that actually price could go even further up, right? And up until here, or even further up until this level that was maybe the final target somewhere in here. Right, so this is maybe basically how I look at it. It's important to know, of course, where we are in the bigger picture. So where is this low reacting to? Is this zone in here a higher time frame level that actually is going to push price to now pass through all of this area, or is just going to maybe just, let's pretend that this is a 15 minutes time frame, price is going down on the 15 minutes, you can see these moves on the 15 minutes. So maybe this would be just your target for this 15-minute move to downside. However, if this is kind of a 4-hour daily zone in here, and maybe now we are playing this scale out of this, and not just that 15 minutes of this move to downside. The supply that is created around maybe in here, or this SR zone that is somewhere created in there. That's what I try to look for. And until kind of price, actually, this is another tip, until price finally gets to this low in here, kind of to this final target. Let's call this the final target. Price can easily break kind of even this low and go all the way back and still respect this level, right? So even though this looks like an engulf to the upside, showing that price wants to go higher, price doesn't really need to go higher from from this level and break this high again, because price maybe first needs to go and react to this level before actually price goes to the upside. So that is something that it's important to know. So be aware of where kind of this low is reacting to on the left side. If this is just kind of a bounce to the upside for then price to continue downside, or if this is a final target. So that's one of the ways that I like to play with it. If, for example, this low is not reacting from a good level, maybe this could have been just the final target of the zone, right? And nothing else. I'm not expecting price to go all the way up. Just use the target. Use just your next level of kind of support resistance as your next target. That will be that's a way to manage your expectations on your targets. So like this, you have price is telling you already that there's space for price to start making maybe a big reversal. If then you have good price action in here, it's even a further confirmation for that. Otherwise, just trade what price is like. Just trade the space that price is offering you, nothing else. Otherwise, you're going to start missing some. They're going to start having some break-even trades, or some second targets are going to be missed because you're maybe expecting price to break through when there is absolutely no information for that. And then price eventually going to reverse and maybe just continue to downside and take you out, even a stop loss or just a break even if you put your stop loss at break even. So that's one of the ways that I look at targets. And yeah, so things to consider: be aware of where kind of these lows are reacting to on the left side. Is this just a small zone? Imagine that again, 4 hour, maybe 15 minutes. Maybe this is just a 5 minutes demand zone, kind of, that maybe price is reacting to. So don't really expect maybe too much. The same kind of with this zone in here, or even with this one, maybe where price is reacting to in here. It's just a small zone that usually price can bounce because maybe it was left behind when price was going up. So now we have a small bounce, but don't expect price to just shoot to the moon anytime it reacts from something on the left side. Yeah. For example, I have a few examples even during this week and last week as well that I will just show you now. Even how conservative I was with one or two targets that I took. Even trading box took it as well. So let me go back to it. Let me hide this now. Second. So yeah, in this case that I was mentioning before on dollar CAD, yes, we do have this beginning of a break to the upside. We do have this break in here as well. So after this, you can kind of, as a conservative target, you can look for this. Is basically where this I reacted from. This supply is still fresh. However, we clearly already have the information that price wants to start going up. And this is actually a good filter as well, or something to pay attention to when you are looking for those reversals, especially big reversals. Just pay attention to the approach, how price is behaving when it's approaching an important zone. Is price breaking opposite levels of structure, in this case breaking highs even before getting to the zone that you want to look for the trade? That's a really good sign. So it's a really good sign. For example, this was one of the trades that I mentioned before. So last week, I think price closed somewhere in here. And I did mention that I was looking for maybe some reaction somewhere in here, as this supply was still fresh and we did have a reaction in there. That was a trade that I took just from here. And my target, I just show you on the 15 minutes. I think 15 minutes or yeah, on 15 minutes is quite nice to see. So yeah, price initially reacts from that level. Get out those left shoulders and fake out on the left side. And then I saw this zone in here this week. Basically, this week in here was still fresh. This nice decision point in here. And I saw it as a really nice zone that price most likely, you can see this is even better on the 30 minutes. So this week never really, so this week never took the orders from this level, and I saw that small space as a possible zone for price to go and react from, and that's why I kind of look for the short in here. So we also had initially price broke this low in here. The price breaking this low, I identified that there was this level of support resistance somewhere in here with this demand that I mentioned before, which is kind of the wick that I just showed on a higher time frame. We are now on 5 minutes. So after this, I did enter short somewhere in here. After I see actually price reacting quite nicely, we did had this zone in there, and I did got short in there. And yeah, my first target was, I don't remember, somewhere in here. And then yeah, the final target was somewhere in here. That's where I closed the trade. I was not expecting any major move to downside. I mentioned on live stream on Saturday that I did see a possibility that price could bounce from there. I saw the bounce, I liked the reaction, and I just looked for the next level of structure or fresh orders, and that was my target. Look for that small space in there, and that's it. That's what I was looking for. That's what I got. Nothing else. I was not looking for a big reversal from there. I was still aware that price most likely wanted to go and fake out and take the orders from above all these highs. So yeah, just manage your expectations when you're looking for those targets. There was no need for me to look for much more than this. As you can see, it was actually a nice previous supply zone that price kind of should have respected and went down. Price didn't, so it kind of worked on the opposite way. It just reacted from there and it shoot to the upside. Right. So yeah, just manage your expectations. Again, similar scenario. If you, by any chance, if you entered short today, somewhere in here, next zone, just look for the next level of support resistance. There's nothing else that you need to be considering. Until now, we don't really have any major break of a low to the downside. Hi, Trading Box. Welcome back. Beginning of the stream was a bit complex. But yeah, welcome back. Welcome. So yeah, so targets. If you try to look for any short in there, there was no need to look for anything else except the next level of support resistance zone. As you can see in here, this is the level. You don't need to shoot for anything else. Until now, we don't really have any proper break to the downside. So there is no... price hasn't shown us yet that actually wants to go further down. So yeah, as long as price is just moving, creating highs and lows and always respecting the previous lows, there is no need to actually look for much more than that. Right, just look for the next one until maybe finally you have a break of a low. Maybe now this may open the door that price may now wants to go out to the beginning of this compression, maybe in here or somewhere in here. Right. So yes, after the break of this, maybe there's that possibility of price opening the door. It depends also where this low reacted from. If it closes, it reacts straight away from the demand, maybe there's no more space anymore. But that's how you want to be looking at it. Right. Just manage your expectations. For example, another setup that I mentioned on Sunday, it was dollar franc Swiss. Let me just get our franc Swiss in here. So dollar franc Swiss, we talked about this level for quite a few times. So just above this high, right? We did had this beautiful supply in there aligned with this level. Pick out this high, and you can see how beautifully price reacted from, and where would be the next target. That's it. The target will be. I think you can see that we have all this zone. All this zone is compressed on the way down, right? So that's it. There was no need to expect price to even break these lows. If this low is broken, there's maybe a possibility that price could go further down, but until this low actually is broken, there is no need to actually guess or to push for price to go further down, because price hasn't shown us that it wants to go further down from there. So yeah, so the trade it would have been kind of try to go short somewhere in there, and this will be the target. This is actually a beautiful kind of price action that you have in here as a setup, because we definitely have all this compression in here. As soon as we have kind of the confirmation that price may break one of these lows, it could have been just easily a final target, and that's it. This is just a simple trade that it could have been taken. Unfortunately, price reacted from there during yesterday's closing, so I was not even looking at the markets at that moment, but it was a really nice reaction from that zone. Again, manage your expectation. For example, this trade that we talked about last week, I think last Tuesday, a trading box shorted somewhere in here. Again, where would be the target? Just the next month, right? We haven't broken anything to the downside, so there is no break of structure in here that is going to show us that price actually wants to go maybe to the next level of support resistance. So yeah. Let us know when you actually take a trade. MCBC, how are you, man? How are you doing, man? Which chart do you want to look at? It's more of an educational content. If you have any question, feel free to ask. I'm not trading for you. I'm not or trading for anyone. This is not even a sign of service. Okay. Good. I'll see when price is in the right moment for me to take a trade, then I'll take it. I'm telling you some zones that I'm looking at. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing in here. Yeah. Tell me which chart do you like me to look at? So yeah, but about targets, that's usually how I look at them. I just look for the next level of structure, and then I'll do that. So yeah. For example, the euro trade that I took, yeah, I could have actually hold it further down, because price actually already had this engulf. I mentioned it quite a few times, and kind of this could have been the next target, but I did just close it in here on the retest of this demand level. So yeah, so this could have been also an indication price wants to go further down. In this case, we did broke this low. That's why I kind of hold it all the way until here, until the next zone, because we did broke out this level. That's why I kind of catch it from there and I close it in here. Unfortunately, yeah, I tried to look for the sell in there again, but I didn't. Price never did that fake out, so I didn't catch that level. Yeah, I'm telling you right now on euro dollar, the trade I did it. The reason I managed until here is I closed it in here. And yeah, that's how I actually took the trade. I saw this low this week in here. This has been broken to the downside. We had the interest rate decision. In that moment, we broke this level in there. And yeah, after that, this was the next demand. That's why I kind of closed it in there, even though I noticed that we already had this low broken to the downside. So yeah, price could have actually the potential until at least this demand zone, and after that we'll see. This could have kind of should have been my final target, but I did close it just in there. So yeah. Yeah, the dollar card that I mentioned before as well, it was another trade that I took yesterday, and that's it. From that level to that level, and that was it. Yeah, about to pound, yeah, I noticed as well. I noticed that pound finally it's in this huge KM zone in there. We're testing out this zone in here. That's actually where I was kind of expecting after the break of this low. That's where I was looking for it. Now let's see how price actually reacts from there. Tomorrow with the FOMC, going to be interesting. Personally, I was trying to find out within this low where exactly to try to look for the setup. And personally, I didn't really find anything that stood out, at least on the lower time frame. Is this level maybe the good one? Are they back to the lows? Price is reacting somewhere from these guys. For me, it looks like that price has already spiked on the way up, so there isn't that really. Maybe this level is still fresh. Maybe this could be a good zone for price to react from. Maybe tomorrow. This level is still fresh. This is on 1 hour time frame. All this for me is kind of taken already, and we do break this weekend here, so this for me is kind of fresh. Actually, I'm going to set up an alert now to pay attention to see how price is going to react from there. Yeah, aside from that, price today has been compressing a lot. Yeah, price has been compressing a lot today. We do have this level in here. But yeah, those levels in there, we do have all those left shoulders somewhere aligned in here, and that's where we are. But yeah, I'll be waiting maybe a little bit further below, and I still want to see actually proper break to the upside because I haven't seen that yet. Maybe just now. I want to see a proper break to the upside. I haven't actually. This one in here is still being respected. So yeah, nothing else yet in there. I want to see pound breaking highs before even looking for the long, which hasn't happened yet. I mentioned on Saturday, I think I mentioned kind of this level. This could be kind of possible zone for price to react from. However, price just completely break it through, and actually it ended up respecting on the other side. That's why I try to always pay attention to how price approach the zone instead of just placing limit orders. This zone in here looks like a good zone. We do have all this double low in here. Nice zone for price to fake out. But yeah, price on the approach, there was no price action at all, showing indication that price wanted to go further down. Wanted to reverse, so we actually create this supply in there. Price goes down, and still respects it quite a few times. Aligned that zone. I didn't catch anything in there, so yeah, I did. Yeah, so price just went further down. Okay, I was not looking for the shorts in there. Yeah. But yeah, pound is finally reacting from this major zone in here. Let's see how price reacts on the base. First, initially on the base of this zone, and then maybe a little bit further down. I'll keep an eye on this level in here. 1.18843. What makes a good zone good? That's a good question. I like to look for kind of supply demands, and then try to see let's call it decision points. So for example, why did I mention that this zone was good? Where were we? Give me a second. I'll answer with this example. Let's see how this example on pounds. So in here, I can actually go a little bit further down, further below. So kind of we have, for me at least, And we have all this zone here. We have these lows that are just faked out, and somewhere in here there's kind of a decision for price to reverse and go to the upside, right? At least that's how I see it. We have all this compression. This is the last supply created just before price creates the last lower low, and after that, somewhere in here, there's kind of the exchange of orders, the decision to go for price to, instead of continue to go to the downside, price actually goes up. And aside from that, I do like to see this accumulation of lows in here, and that kind of would accumulate liquidity for the future for price to collect these orders from here. So we kind of have this decision point in here. With this wick in here, this would be kind of my zone to look for. This is on the 15 minutes, maybe on the 30 or 5 minutes, maybe we can find it, if we can fine tune it. But it's a decision that actually managed to break these highs that are closer to the lows. So let's just say it like that. What I usually call it origin. That's why this for me to have been a good zone even to look for the longs. Most likely I would have tried to go long somewhere in here when price was creating this, especially after this break of to the upside. Unfortunately, this was just stay there. And yeah, that's kind of what would require as a good zone for me. Somewhere in here. And then yes, then in the future, price never really reacted from there when it was coming down. Kind of just a small reaction, eventually breaks to the downside, creates supply, and after that it works on the opposite way. That's usually how I would look as a good zone. Especially if they are still fresh, especially if the zone is left behind fresh. Yeah, that's a good zone. This is a good zone. This supply looks like kind of a good zone. Right. And here, price just reacted kind of from there. Yeah. In the end, I'm still expecting price to break because this high in here is just reacting from a higher time frame high on the left side. So I'm actually waiting for the fake out of this size before looking for the shorts. But yeah, I'm not even looking for the shorts right now in there because I'm actually waiting for this side to be faked out. If you want to keep one level in mind for the future, just pay attention to this one. Okay, just wait for this level and then let me know how price is going to react from there. Okay, 139, 116 around that level. Wait for the fake out of this high. You are free to let me know how price goes there. Yeah. So yeah, today's session was more compression, anticipation for tomorrow. We'll see what's going to happen tomorrow during the ECB. What levels we may see. I'm waiting for that euro dollar to fake out that lower low, that double low actually since 2017. After that, it's when I may try to look for longs. Before that, I will not be looking for any longs. So yeah, pound dollar as well. I haven't seen any break of a high, so I will not be looking for it. CAD. It's getting close to the highs. We'll see how it's reacting. if it's going to react maybe somewhere from here or even higher. Yeah, not showing any weakness yet, so just be patient. Yeah, mostly that's it. But yeah, about targets, that's exactly the way I look at it. As long as I don't have any level structure broken, if I see price reacting from a good level on the left side, I would just target the next demand, support, resistance zone. And yeah, if I start seeing highs, in this case lows being broken on the way to the upside, then I'll be extending my target, my level of zone, to look for the targets. That's how I look for it. Yeah. Any more questions, guys? And welcome to the live stream, MCBC. You're welcome always. Yeah. Yeah, gold going down as well. Euro pounds. BTC, Bitcoin, it got really close already from that level of support resistance. 1 second. Swiss. Which level are you looking at, trading box? Somewhere above this? Or even just there? Yeah, level, somewhere in here. And now we have the, for example, it's like just what I mentioned, what I've been talking about. This guy respected, so this low respected this low, so not still a showing indication that wants to go further down. These lows just basically went down, respected this previous level of support resistance and this demand, so still not really confirmation that wants to go further down. For me to look for any touch trades, which usually I don't do that. 10042 and 00492. Yeah, somewhere in here. Yeah. Yeah. I want to see those being broken before even trying looking for that sell. For some reason, I think I have this supply in here drawn, that this high never really touch it. So I may even wait for a possible fake out of these ones, but for now I want to see maybe this lows being broken to the downside before actually looking for the sell. I just see price respecting always the lows, so there's not even price is not telling me that it wants actually to reverse. It may react from there, but then it's going to just retest the next level of support resistance, and it may just continue to the upside. Yeah, that's basically it. But yeah, let's see. I have an alert there, so let's see how price reacts from there. Yep. So if this guy is broken, maybe. Bitcoin getting close to this 19k level from 2017. It actually reacted from a nice demand from there on 1 hour time frame. I didn't even pay attention to it. It just continues to go down. And let's see how Bitcoin is going to behave, Ethereum and so on. It's one that I'm looking at as well. So yeah, let's see how it's going to behave, and let's see how the market's going to react tomorrow to the FOMC. I'd like to see some move to the upside during the London session, like on the major FX, maybe on the RNX, a move to the downside, some retraces from all these strong moves down that we have seen, and then let's see what's going to happen at 7 p.m. Basically, in 24 hours, we'll see what's going to happen. Okay. Yeah. That's it for today. The topic actually was to mostly talk about targets. I covered that topic. And yeah. Okay. Thank you for joining, guys. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to do it. Yeah. Next one's going to be on Saturday. Then for the weekly forecast for the week ahead. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you MCBC for the comments, trading box, and yeah, you are free to join the chat, preferably with positive comments. Positive, I mean constructive comments, but it's okay. Yeah, thank you guys. See you next time. Obrigado.